this giant roach on the wall. First experience with her dad is he goes, grabs the broom, and just starts whacking the
Hey everyone, welcome back to Hot Tub Talks. I'm Chip.
And I'm Garrett.
We're back, baby. We took a week off because everybody's really pissed. I had finals this week.
How did that go?
As
good as it could.
It was as good as it could, yeah, But we're here to talk about the hottest thing on the internet right now. Who do you think would win in a fight? One fully silverback gorilla, or 100 men?
So I've seen the video.
Yeah.
I've never put more thought into it than just watching the video.
Right.
But I did see a video that we'll talk about at the end because it kind of explains what one would win.
Yeah.
And scientific, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyway, personally, I don't know.
Depends on the kind of men.
Yeah, because it's random men. You're gonna have.
I'd say random men.
You're gonna have out of shape people. You're gonna have fat people.
Yeah.
You're gonna have the chance of you getting like more than. And is it the U.S. or is it the whole world?
That's a good question.
Because if we're going the whole world and I get like 60 people from Asia, I might be screwed.
Why?
I feel like this is completely racist in an unintentional way. I feel like they're smaller human beings.
Right. But 100 is so many, though.
Yeah. Personally,
like,
I do think the humans would win.
Yeah.
100 men.
But it only takes like 10 Samoans.
Yeah, for real. See, yeah, if you get them.
Yeah.
If we're just talking about Americans.
Yeah.
I think the 100 men would for sure win.
Yeah, I don't know. Do you think 100 of you could beat one silverback gorilla?
Yes.
Yeah, interesting.
Not because I would say I'm pretty weak.
Yeah.
Compared to the average. But off pure exhaustion.
Right, that's one major point is the monkey gets tired.
Yeah. And so if exhaustion wasn't a problem.
Yeah.
100% the gorilla's winning.
Right, yeah.
But
yeah.
And I saw another video talk about could one average man beat one average dog. I think the dog's winning.
I don't know. I think the dude's going to win.
They're both angry. They both have to fight each other.
Right.
And the average dog, I'm not talking about no like
Rottweiler.
Chihuahua.
Yeah, or Chihuahua.
I'm talking about just like an average 40-pound, 50-pound dog.
Right.
I don't know.
I think if it really came down to it, man, I don't know. It really depends. Because if it was me, right, I feel like I could beat up quite a bit of dogs. Because you get into it, you're bigger than them. Like, even I'm bigger than most dogs. So if you're talking average dog, like, and I know there's like no weapons. This is hand-to-hand combat.
Yeah.
But if you like picked up a rock, you know what I mean? Like if I use surroundings against him, I feel like maybe I'm not totally screwed. You know what I mean?
If I could pick up a rock, sure.
But it's like...
But my fist? I don't know.
The thing is, I don't know how to get into a dog. The dog is going to go for the neck, right?
Probably, yeah.
But like, what do you do to damage a dog? I don't know. Grab its balls.
Choke it out.
It's neutered. Doesn't have balls. So like,
I would try because it's claw. It doesn't have claws.
Right. I guess so.
So I would try. This is horrible, but I would just like try to like, grab it by the neck. Because once you've got like the mouth's the only thing that's really going to do damage.
Right.
And so once
whereas
you get
the
that
monkey,
under
it's got
control,
everything.
Yeah, the monkey has strength. Like you can't hold down a monkey.
Right.
I don't know if 100
I feel like
people
you can.
though.
Yeah, if it's 100 people, like you get 20 guys on each arm. That's why I think even maybe 100 men of me could beat him.
How?
Because you could get 20 dudes.
What is the
to
strength
pile up
difference?
on each
Like
arm.
how many men does a gorilla equal?
Like weigh. So
Not weigh. Like how much the strength wise?
the strength
It's
of
like
one gorilla.
5 humans. 5 men. 10 men, 100 men.
I don't know, but it doesn't even really matter.
Well, if it's enough to be 20 men.
Well, because like it might be able to like, bicep curl the amount of 10 men, let's say, but there's 100 men, right? And if you lay down a monkey like this, if you get it like this on its back, it's a lot harder to do this motion.
Yeah,
than
but
it is
it's
just
a
a curl.
it's a monkey.
Yeah, but there's 20 of us. Like, if there's
Maybe.
20 of me, that's 20,000 pounds.
Okay, that's luck though, because they have mouths. Like their mouths are a weapon too. Like
Yeah,
their
yeah. No, I'm not
teeth
saying
are-
it would be different. I'm not saying it wouldn't be difficult.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, like, the weight of 100 me's alone,
What would that weigh?
20,000 pounds.
Yeah, that might. So if
That's
you
a
got,
lot.
you're
Yeah.
gonna end up killing more humans than the gorilla does. But if everyone just jumped on it at the same time,
Exactly. Yeah. If you all just jump, then
I don't know if it could survive that.
Yeah. I mean, the other thing is, like, monkeys get scared. Like, it's not like we'd be scared,
Yeah,
but it's like
sure, it'd be scared, but this thing's bloodthirsty. Because that's the only way you can play it out.
right. Because yeah, I don't know. I feel like if you have any way of intimidating it, even just 100 men running.
But the
at it,
problem
it's
is I've heard the scenario is you can't have a strategy going into it. So you have to talk to 100 people.
so it's like Batman no prep time.
Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I've heard. I mean, I've
Even then, we can talk to each other. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
while we get in there, yeah.
Like, one person becomes the alpha and goes, "Okay, you guys over there, you
all right,
guys over
everyone
there,
just
let's
jump
go."
on it right
Yeah,
now.
Yeah, exactly. And like, I don't know, as long as no one's bickering about who's in charge, which could happen. But if there's a silverback gorilla running at you, you're gonna agree on
If
whoever's
it
the
is
loudest.
there to kill all 100 of you,
Yeah,
you're gonna start listening to somebody really
exactly
fast.
right.
And that's not me. I'm not the one that you're gonna be listening
Yeah.
to.
Well, because even then, the gorilla can bulldoze through 50 people, and you still have 50 left. That's so many
Yeah.
people.
That's true. Anyway,
Yeah.
so the video I saw was a zoologist,
Right.
And it went into everything, and it said the gorilla would lose after about 40 people.
Interesting. But why is it one-on-one? Does it just mean like
No,
40
it's-
people in
I don't
general?
know. Yeah, after 40 people, it gets too exhausted,
Yeah.
and it'd lose. That means you have more than half the people left.
Yeah.
So
This is my argument. I want to see your reaction to this video.
Two geese. It only required 2 geese to break the psyche of a gorilla.
it don't take one
And
to
you
take
wanna
my
tell me-
psyche. Dude. I don't think I could take geese on.
I don't
Bro.
know if I could either. But like, that's part of the point. Is like, it's 100 men. That's just so many, you know.
Yeah. Okay,
Anyways.
but a lot of humans run from roaches. What's your point?
Yeah. Exactly.
That's valid.
exactly. But again, you outnumber it so much. That
Yeah.
It's like, I would go after.
I
the
would think
monkey like
100
glass.
roaches could beat me.
100 roaches? No.
They're harmless, but
100 is not that many roaches.
dude, wait till you go to Georgia. They're this big.
Yeah.
They would swarm you, dude.
Yeah. I guess that's fair.
But I don't know if they bite or even hurt you at all.
Right.
So
They're just huge and gross.
they're just ginormous.
Yeah.
That was the first time. Side note, first time going to Georgia,
Yeah.
I walk into my room,
Yeah.
or it was actually her Skylar's sister's room. And there's this giant roach on the wall.
Ew.
And the sister's freaking out a little bit because,
Mm.
and I was like, ooh, I wasn't freaking out, but I was like, ooh, that's gross.
Yeah.
I walk in, the dad, this is the funniest, my first experience with her dad is he goes and grabs the broom and just starts whacking the thing. Because obviously he doesn't want to touch it either.
Yeah.
And he just starts whacking it. And then it's a broom, so like it has bristles.
Yeah.
And so it like crawls out of the bristles and he just starts smacking it again.
That's hilarious.
And then I go to church that Sunday with him,
Uh-huh.
and I'm talking to, I think, the bishop's wife, maybe the stake president's wife.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, oh, good thing it wasn't one that could fly.
Dude, have you seen my chickens recently?
Uh-uh.
I swear to you, this happened to me the other day. I'm letting the birds out because I let them walk around for maybe 20 minutes to an hour, you know. And while I do their food, and now I'm planting some peas back there, you know.
Heck yeah.
Yeah, so we got some stuff going. And Nugget is just on the edge of the perch, or not even of the perch, just like of the coop, you know. He's looking at me. I'm like, what's up, Nugget? All of a sudden, right.
He charges
me. Yeah, like I just see a chicken going straight to my face, full flap, and I'm like, whoa, buddy,
Did
chill.
you smack it?
Yeah, no, yeah, I just kind of like, whoa, and it just it just chilled out.
I'm not gonna lie,
I
chickens.
was like, why did it charge? What are you doing?
It's probably trying to be the dominant chicken,
Probably.
and you're messing with it.
I'm the big dominant chicken. So, anyways, that was.
I'm slightly afraid of chickens. I'm not gonna lie.
Really?
Yeah.
That's your fear of chickens. How many chickens could you take down?
I feel like I could take a lot.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I could kick them and kill them.
Yeah.
With one kick.
The hard part is, give me a shovel. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like as humans, we get one tool of our choice that's not a gun. A tool that we could make
Yeah,
ourselves.
they don't get a tool.
Yeah, but they're chickens. They don't use tools.
I know. That's the.
Yeah, I don't know.
You get your fist, they get their claws.
Yeah. Yeah.
I feel like I
suppose.
could kick a chicken and knock it out, or at least, you know,
Yeah.
whatever. So I don't think it'd be hard. So chicken's probably not as bad.
Yeah.
Geese for sure.
Geese would be hard. Geese are tall, too.
And I don't know if I could even ring a geese. Their necks are just so strong. I don't know
Yeah.
if I could even ring one.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, I don't know, man. I don't have a lot of encounters with geese.
I
you
don't know. I don't either, but I stay away from them.
Whereas I'm pretty aware of chickens now. Like I'd now being with the chickens,
Roosters are
Don't get it.
scary though.
Yeah, that's true.
I was with a friend one time. I think I told this story on the podcast.
Mhm.
And he had a rooster, and it started charging him, and he kicked it as hard as he could, and it didn't
What
move.
the heck?
It was literally a sandbag, pure muscle.
That's crazy.
And then we ran away
Yeah.
because that thing showed us.
Yeah.
Who was
yeah.
boss.
The two geese beat you, the monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah. What's the largest? This is a podcast I was editing about a year ago, and they had this whole debate of what is the biggest animal you could take on.
See, the problem is there's a lot of big animals that I could beat, but there's also a lot of small animals I couldn't beat.
I said elephant. Yeah, because
I could not beat an elephant.
I could take an elephant.
No way, dude.
Yeah, man.
Oh heck no, dude.
Yeah.
Wow, what are you gonna do?
That's true. That's true.
If you have nothing.
Oh no, I didn't say elephant. I said whale.
If the whale's
long
on
as it's
land,
on land.
yeah, I could take
Yeah,
a
yeah.
whale. That's what I mean. Like I
Yeah.
could take a whale on land, but
Yeah.
I couldn't take an eel, I guess,
Yeah.
or a jellyfish,
Yeah.
in the ocean.
Yeah, that's true. I couldn't take anything in the ocean, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am slightly afraid of the ocean.
Really?
Just because, not of the ocean, of playing on the beach in the ocean, which is kind of sad because
Right.
it's fun.
I
But
don't
I'm
like the
afraid to get
beach.
sucked up.
That's one of my hot takes. I don't like the beach.
I love the beach. I love the beach. I don't love,
Yeah.
and I like playing in the water.
Yeah.
But it's I'm afraid to get scooped away.
Yeah. See,
Like
I'll
God's
go. Like if we went to
creation.
California with the trip,
But
I'd
to
go.
be fair, why don't you like the beach? You don't like sand
I
everywhere?
like sand. That's the thing is I don't like the sand. It's coarse and rough. Gets everywhere. The water is salty, and it's cold.
See,
it's
that's the
not
problem.
cold.
You've only been
Okay, here we
to
go.
the West
here we
Coast
go. Here we
beaches.
go.
The West
Yeah.
Coast beaches are cold.
That's true.
There's nothing wrong with them, but they're cold.
Right.
The East Coast, they're warm
Right.
or warmer. I mean,
That's the thing is even me with water, just in general, I find water cold. So even if the water's warm, it'd have to be pretty warm to convince me that it's actually
yeah,
warm.
that's valid.
Because I just get super cold. So, and yeah, so beaches, fine, don't love it, but I go. It's not like I
One of the
don't go or I hate
best
it, but I
experience
just
on the
don't love it.
beach was playing spike ball
Oh yeah,
because you can jump and you can dive and it
Yeah.
doesn't hurt.
that's true.
Whereas even you can kind of do that on grass, but
Yeah,
I don't know.
that's fair.
There's a reason they play volleyball on the beach.
Yeah, but the worst beaches are up in Oregon.
Oregon,
cold.
where it's
yeah.
cloudy and raining all the
Cloudy
time.
and rainy and cold and miserable.
I've been to Oregon twice, and I
Yeah.
went to the beach both times, and it was miserable both times.
Yeah. Yeah, I felt like when I went to an Oregon beach, I felt like one of the penguins in Penguin Madagascar where they're like,
Well, this sucks.
Yeah, it does. It's like,
it's
why did
awful.
we even come here?
Yeah.
And there's a reason Oregon's not
Yeah.
known for their beaches.
Yeah,
and neither
yeah.
is Washington.
No, that's true. But California beaches are fine.
No, California's known for their beaches,
Yeah.
but that's because it's lower, I guess, and it's warmer
Yeah.
outside.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
That's fair.
yeah,
But yeah, I don't know. Biggest animal to take off. Biggest mammal. What do you think?
In their own territory. So
Ah,
like I can't do a whale.
football field.
On a football field?
Yeah, but like whales don't count.
Okay, so no aquatic.
Yeah, no
creature.
aquatic creatures.
Oh, jeez. Okay, I could take on. I don't even know if I could take a deer on.
I could take a deer. What's a deer gonna do to you?
Could you take a horse?
No, maybe not.
Because I think a deer is pretty similar to the horse.
Yeah, but they're weaker. Like horses can be beefy, you know.
Yeah, but like
And
I've
horses
never,
are also
I've
more
never been
aggressive.
close enough to a deer. I just don't know.
Yeah, but
are they
deer
not
don't
muscular?
like fight. You know what I mean?
Well,
Especially if you're
they're-
talking
you
a
have
female
to.
deer.
You're a doe, okay.
Yeah, if you're talking a doe, you could beat a doe.
Probably.
A buck, maybe not.
Oh no way, dude! A buck would stab me.
yeah. Yeah.
A doe, I just don't know because I don't know how muscular they are.
right.
They're fast, and they
That's
could just
true.
jump and like
Humans
smack
have
me.
that endurance, though. Humans have that endurance.
They're gonna out endurance me.
Yeah, that's true.
But
That's true.
you say they don't fight, but you have to say they're fighting each other.
Yeah,
They could
yeah.
do a kick and probably like one punch me,
I don't know. I feel like you could dodge the kick long enough to like get
Maybe.
behind it and then
jump on it.
yeah, something like that.
So potentially a doe.
yeah. The biggest thing for me is maybe a doe, but I have to be quick. Whatever I fight, I have to be quick because
Yeah.
I'm gonna tire out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how much bigger I could go.
Yeah. I don't know how much bigger like there is than a doe. There's like, cause like there's an elephant.
Well, it goes
But-
from a doe, and the next thing I can think of is a horse, and I couldn't beat a horse.
That's true. Yeah.
So there's probably something in between, but
what about an ostrich?
no way, dude. If I can't beat a goose, dude, there's no way I could beat an ostrich.
Yeah, that's fair.
And I could probably not even fit my hand around its neck.
yeah,
Like
that's true.
it's
I feel like a lot of those animals, like you just get on his back and you like, you know.
they do have ostrich rides.
Yeah.
Like races. Like you get on it and race it. I don't know. I don't know if an ostrich could like buck you off.
Right. Right.
And I also
feel like
don't
as long
know.
as you're holding on, it won't.
I don't know where to choke the ostrich.
Its neck's too long.
I just don't know, like, if I just squeeze in one spot,
Yeah.
or even if I'm strong enough to like pull
You gotta
it.
tie it in a knot or like kink it like a hose.
Yeah, I don't know if I could be like squeeze it tight enough.
yeah, yeah, that's fair.
I don't know, man, because I feel like they're pretty fast.
They
so
are
they'd
fast.
run, and then if I'm on it, and then they'd stop immediately and throw me off.
Right. But as long as you're hooked on.
I don't know. Depends
yeah.
how fast you're going.
Yeah. Depends on if you can get up there in the first place.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's true.
Yeah.
But like I also couldn't beat a goose, and that's smaller than a doe.
That's true.
You know what I mean?
I would say mammal, but yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. I don't know.
that's true. I guess it's not, but
I bet I could tap out a deer.
I'd say doe. Yeah,
Doe.
a doe.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's equal strength. It's equal huge and
I
also
can't believe
not
you
that
say
strong.
you could beat an elephant, bro.
I don't know. I feel like with luck I could beat an elephant. Well, maybe I couldn't actually. Because my whole thing
How?
with an
I just
elephant-
don't know how you could beat it.
That's the thing. I don't know. Like with an elephant, I imagine I'd get on its back
And then what?
and then
You start punching it? Like, well, that's not gonna do anything.
outlast it. I don't know. You got to get into his mouth somehow. I don't know.
Yeah, it's got tusks.
Yeah.
That thing's gonna
That's the
impale
thing.
you, and then
Yeah.
it has a trunk that is pretty strong.
Yeah. No, that's true. That's true.
So you're not getting
And
to
I
the
don't even know how
mouth.
to get to the back. Yeah. So I don't know how I'd
And
beat
it probably
a,
couldn't kick you.
I don't know how I'd beat a elephant.
Yeah, there's no way.
I feel like they're passive enough though that like
Well, it has to be fighting you
that's true.
for it
That's
to be
true.
fair. You can't just sneak up on an elephant. And
Well,
be
you
like,
wouldn't
"Oh, I won."
sneak up on it, but there is an intimidation factor. Like you could kind of go, "Rrr," and it would.
I
do,
don't think
"Eh."
an elephant would be intimidated whatsoever.
They don't like mice.
Yeah, but we don't like spiders.
Yeah, but I'm fine with an elephant.
Yeah, and a spider's fine with you.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't know. I
Yeah.
think an elephant would pretty easily take me out.
I would need a weapon with an elephant.
Oh yeah,
And I'm
If-
not talking like a sword. I'm talking like a spear. You know what I mean? Like, give me a spear, I could probably take out an elephant.
yeah.
If my life depends on it. You know, fight
You
to the
think
death.
you could kill a silverback with a sword?
No.
If you had the sword and it had
If I had the sword,
I don't think so.
I don't think so.
You'd have to get pretty lucky.
Maybe with a spear, and the only reason I say that is it'd be long enough that maybe I could like distance poke it, but I have to get really lucky.
The only way, I don't think you could even poke it. I think it'd have to charge at you, and you'd have to dig that spear into the ground and let it impale itself.
Yeah,
that is literally the only way you could beat it.
That's why I'm like, I think it's possible, but I don't think I could. You know, like, okay, here's a similar debate to all of this what animal thing. And maybe we've talked about this before. Do you think in an emergency you could land a plane?
No.
Really?
I don't even think I could drive a bus.
Really?
A UTA bus.
Really?
If someone was guiding me through it, maybe.
Sure.
Like the people, but
let's say you are guided through it.
I could probably do it.
Yeah.
I feel like I could stay calm enough to think clearly. But I was talking to my uncle who drives buses for UTA.
Right.
And he told me, I don't even think because I was talking about how they just leave their buses running and just leave.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't think you could just walk on the bus and know how to start it and steal it.
Yeah, really.
And he's like, I don't think you could because there's so much. There's like 5 steps you have to do to even get it started.
Yeah.
And so I'm pretty sure it's similar to a plane, but maybe not.
But all you gotta do is get to stop. You know, like it's not like starting.
I would only have to know the button to turn the wheels on.
Yeah.
And then I'm assuming we're in the air and we're crashing.
Well, you're not crashing, but
the pilot's passed out or
pilot's
something.
Gone, and you're just.
I feel like I could.
I feel like I could too, especially if I was being walked through it.
Yeah, I feel like.
Because there's also been enough adjacently flying things that I've done. Not that drones are exactly the same, but like, I don't know. You get the pitch, you get the yaw. Like I don't know.
And if I have time to play around a little bit to kind of feel how like the.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I could fly a plane. Guys.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I could. I'm not taking.
Yeah.
I'm not giving crap on the pilots. I'm
no.
Just saying,
yeah.
I'm just saying if it came down to
if
it,
it
and
came
I had
down
to
to it,
land
I
one,
don't think I'd kill everybody with the plane.
Yeah.
I think so too. Now, helicopter couldn't do it.
Really?
No, they are way more complicated.
Really? I have no idea.
Do you know? Have you seen the pedals on a helicopter? It's like playing an organ.
I don't even think I've seen a helicopter up close. In my life.
No. Helicopters are way harder to fly.
Wild.
Yeah. So like plane, sure. Helicopter, no.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So, anyways, should we leave it to break?
Sure.
All right.
We'll be back.
We'll be back with
after these messages.
This episode of Hot Tub Talks is sponsored by Fossiled. Are you a fan of Utah Valley, the place, and a fan of the color green? Well, you can get a hat that says Utah Valley backwards in a nice shade of green. Are you a fan of Brigham Young, the man, the historical man, and a fan of the color blue? Well, you can get a hat that says Brigham Young backwards in a nice shade of blue. These hats are made by students for students at starving student prices. So if you're interested in picking up your own, click the link below. Thank you for Fossiled for sponsoring this episode. That was a good bit. I like that one. Welcome back. What are you watching? Oh, 8 ball.
8-ball pool, and I missed my shot.
That sucks. Salt Lake City's boom in the next 2 to 5 years. Apparent boom. Because Garrett did not know about this. The fact that everything is changing. So first, let me pull up this article. So Salt Lake City County sells a portion of the Salt Palace to Smith Entertainment Group for $55 million.
Is that the guy that owns the...
Smith Entertainment Group? I don't know. We can Google it. Who's that guy?
What's the guy's name that owns all the sports teams?
Yeah, sports, entertainment, real estate, and technology investment group.
Ryan Smith, that's his name.
Yeah.
So it's probably the guy that owns all the professional sports teams.
It is. Utah. So that guy bought a part of the Salt Palace, which is this Spirey building. Oh, it's not there.
That's not even it's not even a picture.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
But it's because of the Jazz, I think.
Yeah. And he owns the Jazz, so that makes sense.
Yeah.
Anyways, it's acquired a large portion. Salt Lake City Council voted unanimously on Tuesday to approve the resolution to sell about a dozen parcels of the county-owned land, totaling 6.5 acres at a base price of a little over $55.4 million. Yeah. The final price of the land fell within fair market value and will help kickstart funding for a massive project to remodel and modernize the convention center. Meanwhile, with the deal in place, Salt Lake County plans to begin a process this week to find a project architect. The firm is expected to be picked by the end of the summer to help plan out the project's next steps. If everything goes as planned, partial demolition of the Salt Palace could begin as early as 2027. So then the upgrades could be done by 2028, 2030, right? Think about this.
For the Olympics?
Not only that, first of all, the Jazz and the hockey team, right? So hockey is they're redoing the arena, right, and the Delta Center. So that's going to be rebuilt. Then we've got hockey. Then we've got Jazz, who might be good in 5 years.
Maybe.
Hockey, Jazz. Then we've got an updated version of the Salt Palace for conventions.
Okay.
Then it'll be the Temple Open House in 2027 for the Salt Lake Temple. And then they've got they're basically reinvesting and upgrading a lot of the malls in the area to be a little bit more like higher end stuff. So they're kind of having this whole project to facelift Salt Lake City. So it's all going to hit around the time of the Olympics in, what is that, 2025?
So 34, I think.
34?
I think. I get that, but that's all temporary. That's all temporary.
Oh, yeah.
Increase.
No, you're right.
So what's going to keep tourism coming in after this?
I think it'll still be high, but I think it'll just have like a boost. Like it'll go up and then down.
Because obviously
a little bit.
the Olympics, without doing anything, is going to make a boost.
Yeah, totally.
The Temple Open House will do the same thing.
Yeah.
But you have cities like Vegas and Atlanta.
Yeah.
Where people go there all the time. Detroit,
right.
Chicago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what's going to keep, I don't know, what's going to keep Salt Lake going up, or at least plateauing, not even just...
Right, just like having the spike and then going back down.
Yeah.
I think a lot of it comes
malls,
down to...
that's not going to get tourism.
It's just going to put, stuff to do when they're here.
And because there's malls everywhere.
Right.
The convention center, maybe for whatever, concerts.
Right. That's going to be, I think, a big one is convention centers. Because I think it's not just going to be, and this gets into my idea of where it goes from here, especially with convention center stuff, especially if they're putting investment into it. I think you don't just get Comic-Con and FanX or whatever it's called. You know what I mean? Like, you also get tech expos and business people doing business
Don't they do that stuff everywhere else?
But, well, I mean, not necessarily, because they can do it here.
Because Comic-Con... Sisters of Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Like every major city.
Right.
FanX
is like one of the bigger ones in the West, though.
Is it?
I think it's like the second biggest.
I have no idea. Where is Comic-Con in California?
L.A., yeah.
Okay.
That's going to be the big one. That's the official Comic-Con.
Yeah.
So like that's going to be huge. But I think FanX is one of the biggest ones.
So I guess maybe that
in
will
the West
bring in people, but
I think...
But what's there to do? Let's just say in the random summer, why would somebody come out of state?
Right.
Why would they come?
To Salt Lake?
Yeah.
I think it could be, I mean, first of all, it's going to be a cop-out answer, but it's going to be the convention center. Right. If you were hosting events there every week, and then also the arena as well, because maybe you go because you're going to a Blazers game. I don't know. Is that a team? Is that a basketball team?
The Blazers, yeah. The Trailblazers.
Yeah, let's say you got a Trailblazers game. Then you've got people out of state, right? Then let's say you've got another hockey team. They're going to be here, right? You could have people come for hockey games, but then you've also got concerts, right? Because the arena is also going to be able to hold more concerts. It's because it becomes more of a center that people are coming to for other things like conventions. They might also come here for
but
a musician.
I feel
that
like
could be a little bit bigger than it is right now.
If it's not the Sphere,
right,
they're going to do a tour and go to every city.
That's true, but I think Salt Lake is already one of the places that is, again, hit in the West.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Because one of the advantages of being in the West is that there's everything's really spread out. You know what I mean? They hit Dallas. That's too far away from here. They hit Vegas.
Dallas isn't in the West, but
That's true. It's in the Midwest. But you hit Vegas. That's medium far, right? But if you're from Phoenix, you might be able to go to Salt Lake instead.
True. But I think Phoenix is a more fun city.
Fair, but we're trying to outpace them.
That's what I'm saying. Like, how is that going to happen?
Well, how is
so during the All-Star game?
Yeah.
Do you know who Charles Barkley is?
I've heard the name.
He's a famous commentator now, but like he was a football player or basketball player. He said during the All-Star game when it was in Salt Lake, there ain't nothing to do in this boring A city.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
That's what Salt Lake is known for as a major city. It's boring.
That's true.
And as someone from Utah, I'd have to kind of agree.
Yeah.
I hate traffic. Everyone hates traffic.
Right.
You're going to have to make it worth it for me to sit through traffic to drive somewhere. Because I go to Salt Lake every now and then. I'll go for a Jazz game once a year or a couple times a year.
I go to Salt Lake all the time.
Yeah, but you work there.
Yeah.
Or I guess your girlfriend.
Yeah, that too.
Or is she in Salt Lake or is she
South Salt Lake?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, that's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty far, man.
Or skiing's a big one for
Skiing,
Utah.
Yeah. But that's not Salt Lake City.
That's true. That's just Utah.
That's Park City. That's up.
But I'm just talking about bringing stuff to Utah in general.
Oh, Utah in general is going to be huge.
But I mean, you have hiking and
or
stuff.
It's not is going to be, but like
But like, let's say someone that doesn't like hiking, doesn't like skiing.
Right.
What are they going to come to do?
I still think there's a lot in the national or in the parks already where like maybe you don't hike, but it's crazy to see.
It is cool to see.
Because I think it is also easy to take for granted some of the Red Rock stuff down south.
Yeah.
That like that you just don't see that.
That is true.
You know?
And maybe I've taken that for granted.
Exactly. Like I think there's a lot of the natural stuff that we just are totally used to that is already why people come, you know? But it's more getting them into the city rather than you know.
And
but I think it's hard to more
say
to do
from someone that lives here versus someone visiting. Because, like, for me, I've done all the fun stuff.
Right.
And I don't want to do it again.
I've never been skiing.
I've never been skiing either. But I just mean, like,
right.
I've been to the aquarium.
Oh, I love the aquarium.
I've been to the space thing that they have in Salt Lake.
Yeah. I've
been to, and so it's like, that's cool.
Yeah.
I'm not going to drive to Salt Lake to go see it often.
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. I just think that, like, there's going to be more events to do.
And whatever they're doing, the aquarium might get a huge step up.
That's true. Well, they're already upgrading. Did you know that?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They got the whole other
They're doing some space
wing.
thing now.
Yeah.
Which is cool. I just don't know if that's going to be... If they could make it bigger, so it'd be the biggest... Because right now Atlanta's the biggest in the U.S.
Right.
That'd be sick.
There'd have to be a lot of investment into... Well, that gets into my point, where, like, I don't think Utah might be huge. Salt Lake might be the tourism thing. I don't know. I mean, maybe. You know what I mean? Like, I do think it'll up a little bit more. Maybe we'll get an MLB team. You know what I mean? Like,
that would be sick.
Like, I think it will grow, and there is going to be a serious boost here. What I think is sustainable is being a tech center where a lot of companies come.
Yeah, and I think we already do have that.
Exactly. That's why it's like leading
tech,
into that.
But business.
Exactly.
Business expos.
Yeah.
Just because we're like the state of business.
Yeah.
And the state of tech.
And it's in the middle. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to go to Vegas to see Sabrina Carpenter. You don't need to go to Salt Lake. I mean, you can. That'd be cool if we got it instead of them. But they have the Sphere. They have the gambling. They have the, Whereas, like, you're not going to go to Vegas and talk with a bunch of nerds about the latest technology.
That's true.
That's going to be here in Utah. That's what I think the value of this is going to be, where maybe, okay, you've got a tech expo, so you go to the Salt Palace, but then, I don't know, you kind of like hockey or you're curious, so you go to a hockey game, and then, there's a basketball game the next day or something. Oh, there's MLB. Maybe I'll go with that because you're in town.
I have never been to a Utah hockey game.
And neither have I. I want to.
Yeah.
I want to.
I don't think they're very good, which isn't a problem.
They're okay, though.
We're used to
I don't
it.
think they're trash.
I don't think they're horrible.
I
like
see their thing come
were.
up on my phone sometimes.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're not as bad as the Jazz. And the Jazz suck.
The Jazz, I think they were the third worst team.
Yeah. It was embarrassing.
But I think after a certain time, I think they started doing that on purpose.
Yeah, that's what Wade was talking
So-
about. Yeah. Anyways, I just think that's where it's going to be huge is stuff like the Salt Palace,
And if we
where
could,
people come for business.
the problem is you have people everywhere else in the world who like to drink,
right, and we just don't have a lot of
and we don't have that.
that. Yeah,
And I think that's what people align fun with.
right.
Is going to a bar or going to the clubs. We don't
Right.
have a lot of that. I mean, we do have that, but not like.
Yeah, I've been to a
lot.
couple Salt Lake bars. They're fine.
Yeah, and we have it. It's
Okay.
just not like anywhere else.
Yeah,
you know?
that's true.
They also, gambling, casinos.
Yeah, we don't have any gambling.
Because casinos are pretty sick.
yeah, you
You
can't,
have,
yeah,
you have not even like I'm just talking about the art.
right.
You walk
okay.
into the Caesar Palace. That's sick.
Right.
To even go see like that would.
Yeah.
I want to go to Vegas to see the Caesar Palace.
Right.
You know
right,
what I mean?
Right.
And
you
then
got to take that Vegas trip.
yeah, and it'd be sick, but we don't have anything like that.
Right. When your hotels aren't funded by gambling, it's harder
Yeah.
to make it a castle.
We also don't have any Worlds of Coca-Cola or
Yeah.
like Coca-Cola places, M&M places. That's all in Vegas.
Right.
I guess the World of Coca-Cola is in Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah.
you can't I guess I'm comparing it to Vegas
Mhm.
or California
right.
or Florida where they have amusement parks that you can't compete with.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I guess that's not a valid
That's why I think
comparison.
what could be more helpful getting here is things like a Hard Rock Cafe. You know, I think that is more
Yeah.
likely to come.
I wasn't impressed, but
No, sure, but it's like the gimmick of the thing.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Like you're not gonna get a World of M&M or whatever it is in Salt Lake. I don't even think that would really fit.
No, I don't think it would either.
You know, but I think if you put a Hard Rock Cafe in downtown,
No, that
that would be fine.
I would agree with you about that.
You know
I
what I
think
mean?
that'd be it'd fit. It would,
And there's all kinds of those little places. You know, like I think that is more of a likely thing that would help out with the tourism thing. Because then we would only have to drive an hour to go to a Hard Rock Cafe instead of 5.
Yeah, that would be nice. Or Big
cool.
Bass Pro Shop place.
Exactly. Our Cabela's is in the middle of nowhere, but
Or Cabela's?
that just made me think of Cabela's. It's just not anywhere near Salt Lake. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and so is that other place, Shields.
Yeah.
It's not too close.
No, but it's not too far either.
No, it's not.
Shields, I feel like, is more in the area. Because that's over by the aquarium.
I feel like we have so much land that there's nothing there.
Yeah.
That we should turn it into something cool.
Yeah. Like giant statues.
I don't know, but
Right.
because it's all going to turn into residential, which is going to be lame.
Yeah.
When we could have turned it into
Hard Rock Cafes.
the biggest Hard Rock Cafe I've ever seen.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's true.
I don't know.
I don't know. I think Salt Lake is going to boom in a way we haven't.
I hope so. That'd be
I
cool.
think people aren't really like. I think it's just going to happen all of a sudden. They're like, what the heck why is this?
Yeah.
You know, we're like, but it was actually been in the works in the last, since right now.
Do you want to know something crazy?
Huh.
It has to do with Salt Lake, but not this.
Yeah.
Salt Lake wasn't supposed to be the capital. It
Really?
was supposed to be.
Oh, yeah. It was Fillmore.
Is it Fillmore?
Fillmore in Millard County. Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the original capital.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
And
I did
now Fillmore's nothing.
I did my county report on Millard County.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't that
And,
wild?
It was Fillmore originally. Yeah, and there is nothing down there.
Now there's nothing.
There's dormant volcanoes, which is kind of cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's nothing over there.
Like that's like what's the story behind that? I don't know.
I mean, in a lot of places, this capital of the state is not necessarily the most popular, right? Like that's a thing.
Yeah, but why did it change?
That's true. I don't know. Why did it? Let's Google it.
Fillmore, because you drive to Fillmore, it says the original capital of Utah.
Yeah.
So obviously it was original for.
Rather than being the thriving capital city that many had imagined, Fillmore remained a small rural community with little outside communication or industrial development. Realizing that Utah's population had not centralized as anticipated, the territorial leaders quickly lost.
Yeah, but why?
Yeah.
Why couldn't they just made it boom?
In 2023, they wanted to become the capital again? What?
That's never happening.
I'm here today to propose that we move the Utah capital back to Fillmore. Fillmore was once our head city back when Utah was still a territory and statehood was just a glimmer in Brigham Young's eye. The territorial leader territorial legislature designated the town as its capital location.
Oh, do you know what we need in Utah?
What?
A Buc-ee's.
Yeah, okay, you're right. You're right. So I guess it was a population thing.
But like, why
So it's
weren't
like
people moving there?
And
why
in the
would
middle of
you-
nowhere, and the Great Salt Lake is up.
Yeah, but Salt Lake was the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, but like, Fillmore is much in the middle of nowhere. It's just brown and nothing.
Yeah, but that would have changed.
Yeah,
if
but
people
like,
were there.
but like up north, you've at least got the mountains. You got the lake. There was already people passing through there. Like it became the city. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's in the middle.
I guess
Fillmore is in the middle of
Brigham
nowhere.
Young didn't say Fillmore was this is the place.
Exactly. This is. Yeah. The capital of Utah used to be Provo, not Salt Lake City.
That's
What?
a lie. I've never heard of
Yeah,
that.
I believe it
lie.
used to be Provo back in the 90s. It's called being wrong. If you don't remember, don't project that onto do. What? Okay, except you're the only one that remembers this. Anyways. Yeah.
That's a lie, dude. Like that's just someone like
Yeah.
spitting nothing.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens and I wonder what
Yeah.
opportunities there are for businesses to grow there.
I feel like there's always opportunities.
Sure, but like I feel like this is those things where they talk about a hole in the market. You're looking at it, you're like, what can we do to fill that? You know what I mean? Like what is
But the problem
there
is
to
Salt
add?
Lake is already so jam packed
That's true. Yeah.
of businesses, and I think that's why Salt Lake is a smaller major city,
Mm-hmm.
because instead of having it full of residential, because traffic really isn't that bad
Yeah.
if you compare it to anywhere else.
Yeah,
New
yeah.
York, whatever.
Yeah.
So because I think it's so jam packed with businesses, you're gonna have to start pushing that south. Like
Right.
I think Lehigh right now is the prime place to build
Oh yeah.
a major business.
Totally.
But
Yeah.
I think there's lots of opportunity in Utah. I don't know about Salt Lake, but
Yeah. No, that's fair. That's fair. Well, we'll see how it goes. Do you want to take a break and we go over comments?
really quick,
Yeah.
did you hear about talking about Utah companies?
Right.
What PewDiePie said about Adobe?
No.
He just went on a rant about how he's leaving Adobe and going to
Really? Da Vinci?
No, it was a free thing.
Da Vinci?
Is DaVinci free?
Yeah.
It's not DaVinci. It's like the logo is like a cat or a mouse or
Oh.
thing. I don't know.
Hmm.
Anyway, he's talking about how it sucks and it's not even that good.
Yeah. I mean, that is,
And so I'm like, that's huge.
Yeah.
Like PewDiePie just starts spitballing
That's
stuff.
true. That's true. I don't know. A lot of people have problems with Adobe.
I agree, and I
But-
don't think I hate subscription services.
Yeah. No, that's
so I
true.
think that's a big thing. So I don't
That's
know. This
true.
could be a
Tipping
decline
point. Yeah.
for Adobe.
Yeah. But I think they're big enough they'll just pivot and then go
No,
back
they
up.
will. If they pivot to a non-subscription and you just buy it,
That's true.
I will buy it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not paying subscription though.
Yeah. No,
Anyway.
that's fair. All right, comments time.
Comments.
Oh, let's go to break first.
BRB. BRB chat.
This episode of Hot Tub Talks is sponsored by Pine Lens Productions. Do you have a great business idea, but you're not sure how to break into the social media market? Well, Pine Lens Productions is the company for you. They've helped all kinds of businesses from all across the state of Utah help break into the online market, and they can help you. From editing to animation to ideas to publishing, they're the company that will help you get from zero to hero. Check their Instagram out in the link below. Thanks to Pine Lens Productions for producing and sponsoring this episode. What's up? We back. We back again.
We
All
back.
right, it's
Welcome
time for comments.
comments.
Now, last time you weren't here, so we're going to just open this and give you a bit of context.
What?
Okay. Yeah, Wade
Hot
doesn't like
take.
outdoor cats or dogs or animals. I don't understand animals in general. This person says outdoor cats are a very different thing. Travis Jones. Outdoor cats are a very different thing. Most of the time, if you bring the cat inside, it will hate it. Which is true.
I still think it would be considered a pet, though.
Yeah, no, I think that's true. If it relies on you for food and comes in consistently, not inside, but
Yeah, if you adopted it, it's a pet.
yeah.
You don't really adopt chickens
You don't really adopt
or cats.
outside cats either. But I think if you know it enough that it's like chill around you.
If it just comes to your house.
If it just comes to your house, if you leave food out, it comes to your house, and you approach it and it leaves, no.
Yeah, but you can also get a cat to be an outside cat.
Yeah, that's true.
Or outside dog. It's still considered a pet.
Yeah.
That's a hot take by Wade.
Yeah, you don't like it?
I don't like it. I don't like it because there's nothing wrong with them.
Yeah, I do. I don't like them.
You don't like...
I like pets in general.
Yeah, so you're not... No. That's not valid, but...
No. So yeah, that's their hot take on it being a different thing and Wade's hot take on pets. I agree with Wade, but, you know...
But you don't have an opinion on that.
Alas, no.
Your opinion's not valid.
Not really. All right, next was this crazy fun fact about how cows are one of the leading causes of climate change because they just fart all of the time. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah. So it's like, you know, there's all these things that are causing pollution and, you know, we should try to stop all of them. But one of the highest contributors to pollution is beef production because cows fart so much that their methane goes up into the air and then it reflects the greenhouse gases and then it ends up.
That's wild.
Yeah. So Jacob W. Brook says, it's okay. The satellites and rockets we sending through the atmosphere is making holes where the methane gases can escape. Problem fixed.
All right.
That's not true.
Cool.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true either.
I don't think that's true at all. Let me do it.
And it's not like we're sending enough satellites up there and rockets to space.
In fact, we're actually sending too many up there and starting to clog up the
I'm just
space
saying
atmosphere.
It's not like we're sending enough up there for it to matter. It's not like going to create enough holes. But like, let's say it's a cloud, right? You shoot a rocket through a cloud. It's not like there's a hole in the cloud. Yeah, a temporary hole.
Right.
Okay, but that's
a
not...
result of exhaust. Yeah, sure.
We'd have to send a whole lot of rockets there to make even a slight difference.
Yeah. I mean, I am no expert on this, but even if, let's take it at face value, even if greenhouse gases do escape through holes that rockets create in the atmosphere, which do appear to be a thing, right? The temporary holes do exist. That is not enough to...
yeah, it doesn't matter.
To really
and by the way, fun fact.
Yeah.
Antarctica actually... So it's been on a decline of how much ice is melting.
Right.
For the last 3 or 4 years, it started refreezing.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good. That's a good sign.
But they say it's just a weird thing. It's not going to last for very long.
Yeah.
But if it
We'll save
does,
the polar bears.
then I don't even know what to think about climate change.
Yeah.
I don't know what it means.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't know. Experts know, and I say we should probably be doing something to fix it. But also, I'm not using paper bags. Just kidding.
I'm not using paper straws.
Straws, that's the big one. Yeah.
I'll use paper bags. I won't use paper straws.
Yeah, that's fair. I think
and besides, it's paper straws wrapped in plastic.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's true. That's true. No, I do think that is a concern. I mean, if the smart people are saying there's a problem, I'll listen to them.
If I care enough, I'll go to school and learn about it myself.
Yeah. OLED, Old Dirt McGirt.
I think that's right.
That is his name.
Crazy.
My reading comprehension skills are immaculate. Or how about not everyone act like toddlers is pathetic? This is
the movie
stuff.
theaters. See, he's on my side.
Yeah, no, he is, and I disagree, man. I think it's a better way to watch movies. Did you hear they're coming out with the Block Party version with a sing-along?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, it's pretty bold. I like the idea because that is the point. It's creating an environment for people to do it.
Yeah, that's fine.
If you go into a block party showing, you know
want
you're
popcorn everywhere.
Sure. Yeah. No, I'm not saying you should throw popcorn everywhere. What I am saying, this is going in the direction that I think it should.
Yeah, but that's them inviting that because they know that's what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean...
I'm not saying that's by doing that because I know it's happened in normal things. If they're adding a sing-along, why would you sing along?
Yeah, I mean, people already do.
I know, but it's like 5 seconds.
It's true. Shortest song to ever chart. Or chart up there. Anyways, I think it's leaning into it, and I think it's good because... like, I think maybe if you also give Block Party ones, you can kind of contain it, right? Like they did say, hey, chill. You know what I mean? So like there's more of an understanding and an outlet to be like, this is the time, but you don't have to.
But why did it, why did it slow down? Why did it stop? Just because they asked you to?
I think so. I think people don't want to be kicked out. I think
people just don't
chilled,
care.
You know?
People just don't care.
What do you mean? Like it's like the meme's over?
Yeah, well the meme's over, but I just mean like, just because someone says something, I just think most people our age just don't care.
I think they do.
Really?
I think they do. Yeah.
I don't know.
I think if you put a thing before the movie that says, yo, have a ton of fun, scream the stuff you want to scream, whatever, just don't make a freaking disaster.
I just think that
I actually think a lot of people are going to be like, you know what, I'll
don't care about authority as much.
I think that's true. But as soon as they started kind of reining it in, the big problems tended to stop. And I think especially part of the meme is it's breaking the social norm of it, you know? And I think as long as it's like if the norm is, hey, this is the Block Party one, then people are less likely to go that far.
Yeah.
Because
nobody's going to go in there by themselves and do it.
Exactly. And also if you go to a Block Party showing, you assume you like that kind of a thing. So you wouldn't want it to taint it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you'd want it to keep happening with other things. So I think people would innately just not screw that up. So I think it's a good thing. And actually, I would disagree. It's not acting like toddlers. Toddlers are better behaved. But that's the YouTube comments. Let's head over to TikTok. We're still on the movie theater thing. Goggles.im. I mean, if their brightness isn't bother the movie, then it's fine, because why am I looking at your phone when I'm supposed to be watching the movie? It's not bothering me.
See, I don't think when people say that, I don't think they're talking about the people like that.
What?
Sorry.
Let me translate this. I mean, if the brightness, okay, it's talking about phones and movies.
Yeah.
The brightness doesn't bother me. It's fine, because why am I looking at their phone when I'm supposed to be watching a movie anyways? It's not going to bother me.
Yeah, so when people talk about how phones in the movies bother them,
they're
not talking about these people unless they're a Karen.
Right.
I've had this happen to me where I'm watching the movie and the screen is full brightness in the corner of my eye and it's bothering me.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm thinking people are talking about. Also, I've had movie theaters where people take phone calls in
that's
movie.
Brutal. That's wrong.
Like that is like talking about unspoken rules. Don't do that.
No, that's true. And like, I don't know, phones in movies really bother me. And it's not even the brightness. It's also like imagine you're at dinner with a bunch of people. You know what I mean? And like somebody who you want to hang out with is just like, pff. It's the same kind of a thing where I'm like, bro, we're all here.
So I have used my phone in the theater. I'm not going to use it the whole time.
I have a little, like I have like once or twice, maybe.
So I'm fine with phones.
I try to turn it off.
Just don't use it the whole time. And even like don't use it the whole time. I've also experienced people having their ringer on.
Oh,
and not the ringer, because that's fine. You know, you forget to turn it off, whatever. I'm talking about they're texting and they have the sound.
Yeah,
and
it's
literally full volume.
Yeah.
I'm like, bruh.
See, that's why I think it's just best to do the whole thing. You know, get off the whole thing.
I think that's better for people.
Yeah.
More healthy. Just because I also think social media is not very healthy.
Yeah.
But
I mean, there should be nothing that is worth doing on your phone when you're in a movie.
Yeah.
Like you better have a very good reason, because you all paid money to be here to watch the darn movie.
But she's saying,
you know what I mean?
This person's saying
the brightness doesn't bother
I'm
me.
enjoying the movie. I don't care what they're doing.
That is I respect that, because that is some tunnel vision.
Yeah.
Like, how can you do that sometimes? Because it's so bright.
So if I'm sitting, and it doesn't matter it's pitch black in there. It doesn't matter how low their thing is. If I'm sitting above them 2 or 3,
you'll notice.
I'm looking at it, and right in the corner of my, like not even the corner of my eye, I see a little white dot.
Yeah.
That annoys me.
Well, it does annoy me too, and I think part of it also is just the point of the white dot. Like, it moves. Like, it's a little bright thing that moves.
Yeah.
And it doesn't look like anything else that you're watching. So, like, your brain automatically goes, threat or target, like.
And another thing, so this is kind of off topic, but if you're doing a staring contest and they're not moving, you're not going to blink as fast as if someone's moving because your eyes will get distracted.
Right.
They just naturally just move to where.
Yeah, exactly. They're going to move to where the light is. And, yeah, I just wholeheartedly disagree with the brightness thing.
So
it's annoying.
I think if they're sitting on the same rows me, it won't bother me.
That might be
If they're
true.
sitting any lower than me, it's going to bother me.
I don't know. Again, I'm almost just offended by the whole concept because, like, dude, you're here. You know what I mean? Like, and I, let him without sin cast the first stone. I have, like, once. Yeah, I usually try to turn my phone off, but there have been times where my job is so intense that, like, I might get a call or I might get a text, and I just have to be like, know what it is.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I try to keep it low, and I don't really do that anymore, So, like, again, there have been times, but, I have been next to people who just get on their phone, and I'm like, bro, what are you doing? Like, it bothers me so much.
Yeah, I agree. It does bother me, but I get your point. I don't think it's super valid because you're wrong.
And it's just like, there's something interesting about phones,
They attract your eye. That's why you get addicted to
everything.
Watching your phone.
Yeah. No, that's true. Yeah, I don't know. That is one of my biggest pet peeves is being on your phone during a movie. It just you're here, man.
I know.
You're here to watch
live in the
movie.
moment. That's why I don't film concerts.
Yeah, me neither, actually.
I'll take maybe a little video of just like a little portion of a song, and then I put my phone away, and I'm there.
Same with me. Because you can always find it somewhere.
Yeah.
And as long as you get a slice, you're going to watch the whole concert on your phone
listening to
again?
my Spotify or Apple Music or whatever is going to be better than me listening to the concert.
Yeah. No, I do the same thing. I hardly ever really record concerts. I do take notes, though, because I think things are interesting about the presentation and the production of it that I kind of want to steal the ideas for, so I have whole notes
even then,
in my
you
phone.
can just do a little video, zoom in.
Yeah.
Like they're doing it the whole time. It's not like they're going to be like, oh,
sure.
I missed it.
And it's completely different. Like, I'm not going to be mad at somebody for being on their phone in a concert. I think it's classless.
No, I'm not either.
Like,
I'm not going to be mad at it, but I'm just saying live in the moment.
Yeah, no, I agree.
know?
I do not really take videos during concerts, which, kind of interesting.
I think it's, because I did. The first concert I ever went to is AJR. Recorded the whole thing. It was almost exhausting.
Yeah.
My arm's hurting.
Yeah.
For one, I'm tall, and so the people behind me are probably kind of annoying.
Right.
And then I go back and listen to it, and it sounds like trash.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And again, there's usually some sort of recording of something.
Yeah, and I can always go look up any concert.
Even of the
done.
concert, you know what I mean? Yeah, totally.
So,
Totally.
just live in the moment, guys.
Yeah, live in the moment. Get off your phone.
Yeah, get off social media and enjoy
Just break your phone,
enjoy
actually.
nature.
Yeah, just finish this podcast and break your phone.
Well, you can listen to this on not your phone, too.
That's true. Where are we, Garrett? You want to sit round it out?
Absolutely. What an ending.
That was good.
We are on Instagram at Hot Tub Talks Official, YouTube Clips. So YouTube at Hot Tub Talks Clips and Hot Tub Talks. TikTok at Hot Tub Talking. And you can find us anywhere there are podcasts available.
Woo!
Thank you so much. Make sure you guys share the podcast with your friends, family.
That's how we get more viewers.
Make sure you guys leave comments. Except for don't leave comments on our TikTok where they're just a random clip that you don't know what's going on because we don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
So
don't leave. You hear that? Don't leave comments.
Leave comments with valid points of views, opinions. We love to listen. Don't
be stupid.
Yeah, don't be stupid. We have
I shut down
love letters thing that we never started, and we probably never will because nobody wants love advice from us.
From three random dudes. You know what? Maybe that'll be. I'm out of school. I'll source some drama.
Yeah.
I'll find it. I'll find it.
Do it.
I'll source it. Holy cow! Our analytics are trash. Although only 23 more until we do the hot tub
23 more
stream.
until we are officially in a hot tub doing a live stream, which will be posted on YouTube and everywhere else.
Yep.
Also, we want to do a fishing vlog.
Yeah, we do gotta fish.
But it's gonna be like a podcast still.
Yeah.
So let us know if you want to see that, because we're gonna do it anyway.
We're definitely gonna do it.
Let us know if you want to see
I
it.
think we should set up. We should go fishing. We should set up, and we should just like do a little thing, and then also fish. You know what I mean?
So it'll be just me and Josh because Wade's lame.
Yeah. We are gonna exclude him.
This is a hot take. Let me tell you this in the last minutes.
Yeah.
Wade thinks fish can only be caught at 6 to 8
6 to 8
a.m.
Yeah.
He thinks the fish are minding their own business, going to work after that, I guess. The breakfast is over.
Oh, that's good.
And I've proved him wrong because I've gone at like 3, 4 p.m.
Yeah.
I caught 6 fish. I'm like, Wade, I caught 6 fish.
Yeah.
He's dumb. Anyway. And I can say that because I know he won't listen to this.
Yeah, dude, if you guys did one without me, I'd listen to it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to listen to the other one. I just haven't.
You're right.
Anyway, so make sure you share this. Thank you so much for listening.
Dude, I love this podcast.
This is Hot Tub Talk.
I love Hot Tub Talks. Thank you guys for listening.
Bye-bye.
We'll see you next week.